Earlier this week, Tuesday, September 29th? Yeah. Elon Musk and Tesla Motors unveiled the release of the Model X. It is now into production. I was asked, of course, as usual, my opinions. First off, let's go over just some of the notable features, and then I will give my opinion on the overall vehicle and thoughts, what should have been done and what shouldn't have been done. Starting off, safety. I got my cheat sheets, and this time Midget didn't eat my cheat sheets. Safety rating is a full 5 stars in every category, as there is only a 6.5% chance of serious injury. If it did exist, they would be just a fraction of a hair short of 6-star rating. But since there is no 6-star rating, we'll just have to deal with a full 5 stars in every category. There is, of course, just like the Model S, a huge crumple zone. Since, of course, there's no motor. Now, the Model X was not quite as safe as the Model S for impacts, rollovers, of course, all that. But, of course, you got to remember, it's still a SUV, and while the center of gravity is still exceptionally low compared to everything else, it is still a little more top heavy than the S. But in general, both the S and the X were about 50% better than the next best rated SUV on the market. Let's see, the side pole intrusion. That means pretty much something T-boning you. But the side pole intrusion was 1/2 as far as any other SUV on the market. 1/2 the rollover capacity of any other SUV on the market. So that means the next best SUV on the market was 50% more likely to roll than the Model X. It has active side collision avoidance and will steer you away from a side collision. So, a couple weeks ago, and I had the Loner 85, that white one. We were driving, same road I'm on right now. We were driving, and it was raining, and a pickup truck driver decided he wanted to get in front of me and wedge himself between me and the semi that was in front of him, so that way he wouldn't have to wait and go behind me. And that semi's got straps flipping off of that thing. Now, if I didn't have at least the the traffic-aware cruise control that the Model S did at the time, we would have gotten in an accident because it was able to slow us down quicker than my reaction speed would have been able to slam on the brakes. Now, he just barely missed clipping the front passenger side nose of the Model S I was driving. Now, if I had somebody directly next to me, active collision avoidance would mean as that person veers out of their lane into my lane, the Model X will steer us away, so that way they don't impact us. Now, of course, given that the lane next to us is empty or the shoulder is empty, it will do what it thinks would be the next, or the least damaging, the least dangerous option. So obviously, if there's a car next to you, if it's a 3-lane road and there's a car next to you in the left lane, you're in the middle lane, and someone's in the right lane that veers out of their lane. Of course, the car is not going to swerve you and hit the guy that's next to you, but it will do its best to avoid that side collision. And that is always on, according to Elon. filtration. This was a big touchy subject for the release. Now, the Model X apparently has a true HEPA filter and also a regular cabin filter. And the HEPA filter is, let's see what my notes are here, 10 times larger filter size than what is generally found in a vehicle, and the way it looked, it was about 10 times larger than the one that's inside the Model S even. And in some categories, it can filter up to 800 times better than a standard in-cabin microfilter. Now, apparently Elon likes his buttons in this buttonless car. So instead of a insane mode or ludicrous mode button this time around, we have a biohazard button. Basically, I hit the biohazard button and you got pretty much sterile, clean air inside your cabin. That zombie apocalypse or anthrax or smallpox outbreak, whatever you have, is mitigated. Now, the doors have auto-open front doors. It can already detect as you approach the vehicle and what angle you're coming at the vehicle from if you're approaching the driver's door, and it will automatically open for you. It's like a chauffeur. Once you get in, it will close the door for you. And of course, the long, already known and anticipated Falcon wing doors. They look awesome. Of course, like I say, my commentary was coming after we touched on the overview. They also added blind holstering of your phone. You pre-select the adapter that you want because they now have a center console in the car. So you pre-select your adapter and basically you just shove your phone in the slot and the slot will automatically line up your phone and start charging it for you. It's a neat concept. The windshield is a panel-like windshield. The roof of the vehicle is all glass. Basically, starts at the windshield line, just goes up and over. The mirror is glued right to the windshield, just like it is now. Wires are run via two black little wiring channels down into it. Sun visors are also glued to the windshield. Hopefully no semis or naughty kids kick up or throw any rocks and break that windshield. I highly doubt that is something Safelite can repair or replace. That would not be cheap either. Now, one question that I see a lot of people asking is, wouldn't it be too bright when the sun is shining during the day? Tesla put in tinting right into the window, and tinting starts about the level of the rearview mirror, and as you go up, the tinting progressively gets darker and darker and darker. I have to admit, the tinting on the panel windows on the Model S are actually pretty decent. Not quite enough if you ask me, but they're decent. So I can say that it should be fairly decent on the Model X. I haven't been in the latest production model, or in the production model yet. Due to non-disclosure agreements, I couldn't say anything prior to that. You got boogies. Personally, I don't like panel, and I would not want the that's right, commentary coming later. So now another thing was, what if two Model X's are parked next to each other. Now, I'm interjecting some information that was not from the release program, but still part of the overview. Now, if two Model X's are parked next to each other, they actually sense each other. So that way, both don't open their Falcon wing doors at the same time, except in emergencies. You know, someone's having a heart attack, well, no, we're not going to wait for the other one to close the door first. But in general, the cars won't let two Model X's open their doors next to each other at the same time, because after they go up, they will strike each other's doors. Falcon wing doors have ultrasonic sensors in them that are supposedly specially developed by Tesla to see through metal, so you don't have the little puck in the door. And basically what those sensors do, besides aiding for the eventual Autopilot, which it's been over a year and it's still not released yet, senses the roof height of wherever you're parked. So that way, if say you have a low ceiling garage or parking structure or something directly above you, above the vehicle, carport, who knows, whatever, the doors will only open up high enough. It automatically recalculates out the opening trajectory and height, so that way the doors do not strike the ceiling or any object above you. Rear seats, or in other words, the second row seats, not the third row all the way in the trunk, have space underneath. Basically, it's going to be like an aircraft where you have underseat storage. So you can put items underneath your seat. Since the trunk on the Model X is not going to be as cargo holding spacious as the Model S, unless you fold the seats down, they needed something wherever they could find room, and that was it. Towing, the long-awaited, now unofficially, with a Torque-Lift Central's Model S Eco Hitch, the Model S can unofficially tow 5,000 pounds. Now, that wasn't a weight restriction based on the engine or the amount of the motor or the amount of power of the vehicle. That was a restriction based on the frame and how the hitch had to attach to the vehicle between the rear double bumper. Whereas the Model X has 5,000 pound towing capacity, because the way the hitch is attached to the frame is considerably beefier. And because of that 5,000 pound towing, it was a bit shy of Elon's original estimate of 10,000 pounds. But trust me, 5,000 pounds is a lot. My old Nissan Xterra workhorse had 5,000 pound towing capacity. That was enough for me to tow my large trailer loaded with 16 motor scooters stacked up in its crate. Now, the trailer wasn't quite designed for that, but it did the job and did it well. Now, I have towed that same trailer with the Model S because my truck sat so long. The starter had gone out since I've only put 300 and something. I think I'm about 400 miles now since getting my Model S. So I have used my Model S. I had to shuttle that trailer about 3 blocks to put it into storage. And even pulling that trailer, just 3 blocks, was as if it wasn't even there. Did not feel it. Car didn't bat an eyelash at it, nothing. I did pull a small utility trailer, and a lot of my viewers have seen the video on that. I pulled my small utility trailer about 250 miles. One way was round trip. One way was with a whole house generator that I had sold that I had to deliver. Sorry, no Nimber over here. And then I had to, of course, drive home. And I was from a stoplight, being surrounded by a bunch of little racers in Subarus and Civics. I was able to blow them away, even with my little 60 kilowatt car. Pulling trailer with a generator on it with a 7-passenger, almost 5,000-pound family sedan. Hurt much pride that night. And once again, didn't even feel it back there. So I don't doubt one bit the Model X is going to have some insane towing, and I would love to have one. If I still had my motorcycle scooter shop where I had to pick up a whole trailer load of bikes every week, I'd be paying for the Model X just in fuel it'd take me to do a round trip picking up those bikes. That's it used to be one trip a week, round trip. It was about 250 miles for that too. It was from Milwaukee to Green Bay. Had to stop at the Propel warehouse. Pulling a trailer, I was averaging, if I was lucky, 10 miles per gallon. If I was lucky. So, I mean, I'd be paying for it just going there every week, but I don't have my motorcycle shop anymore. I'm a full-time papa. Right, buddy? So, towing. Oh, we can't wait. And that was towing 5,000 pounds while carrying 7 people and luggage. They also have a new accessories hitch that slips in that can haul 4 bikes or a couple sets of skis. All-wheel drive will be standard, so that means it's going to be either the standard 90, and the 90 kilowatt battery pack is going to be the only current one that we know of right now. So it's going to be a standard 90D or the performance 90D with ludicrous mode. So it's either going to be, and it's still standard 90 is going to do 0 to 60 in about 4.8 seconds, and with ludicrous mode on the P90DL would be 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. That is one fast SUV. Tinting, I already covered that. So that pretty much covers what was all unveiled at the release of the Model X and a little bit after. Now, my commentary on the whole bit. What do I think? Safety rating, self-explanatory. Safety's awesome. Crumple zone, same as a Model X, or Model S, awesome. Yes, Gene? Oh, you're drawing a picture? Wow. Gino! Oh no! It's all gone. Let's start with the nose cone. I just like it. Having the all body panel front now, while I don't much care for the Model S nose cone, it looks cheap and tacky. It at least breaks up the front end a bit, so it doesn't look like a Japanese or Korean, plastic little bumper car. Personally, I wouldn't have had just the straight ahead front nose like it is on the X. I would have either had it with the Model S style nose cone like we saw in some of the original concepts, or at least have some chrome strips running across the front. It's too bland, too plain, too smooth. It needs to be broken up a bit. Next, while they did, after the release, Elon caught up a little bit and answers a question based on what happens when two Model X's open their Falcon wing doors at the same time, where they talk, I guess, communicate or sense each other or something like that. We'll have to see that in person somehow. What happens to the driver? Okay, great. You let the passenger can get out. How does the driver get out? They still have their regular door. If someone's parked that close, okay, so passengers can get out, but that front door is not going to be able to open up wide enough unless you're a 75-pound Vietnamese twig. Or if you climb over the seats and come out the back door. Should have had Falcon wing in the front and back, or just the front. But personally, unless it's a little useless not having it in the front because the driver can't get out. once Autopilot is finally released, there are a couple months Tesla time. In a couple months has turned into over a year. There are a lot of pissed off Model S drivers that traded in their old models or bought because of the Autopilot, coming in a couple months, and now a year later it's still not out except for a handful of beta testers. Now I don't have a Autopilot capable vehicle, which really stinks. Man, that was awesome. Never mind, you didn't hear that. Non-disclosure agreements. I suppose, according to Elon, it should be able to park itself in a parking space, so I suppose the driver could get out. The Model X could pull itself into the parking space without the driver in there at that point. So I guess that kind of makes sense in the long run. In the short run, it does not. Controls are electronics. Everything's pretty much the same as the Model S. So really nothing too new or huge there. Yes, Gene. Oh, draw a picture. Good job. Gino's gone? Okay, put Gino back. Okay. Yeah. Someone's happy. Side collision avoidance. That's... I gotta see that before I can comment too much. Air filtration. Biohazard button. Really? Personally, while a high quality filter would be nice, I mean, even a standard one, I think going with the absolutely massive HEPA filter was... I can't do it, Gene. Daddy's driving. I can't do it. I'm driving. I think that's a little overkill. As Elon himself said, this car is over-engineered. Personally, they should have saved the cost on that and reduced the price of the Model X. Or put a little bit of that engineering into getting the Model 3 or Y to market. Now, this is Wisconsin. Our air here is pretty clean, so maybe my opinion's biased. Even when I was now, I could see maybe someone that's in Beijing or Chengdu, China, or someplace where the pollution is absolutely horrible. That filter might be a selling point. What?
It's my water.
It's your water?
Water.
Watermelon. Okay, good job.
It's mine.
Yes, it's yours. I can see that as being a partial selling point, but we don't need operating room sterile levels. I mean, just shove a regular size HEPA filter in. In fact, I'm ready to replace my filter. I want to see if I can find one that's filters a little better, since even if I don't have the heat or air running, I always have my filter going, or my blower going. I gotta have that airflow. So something a little better like that. Overkill, just not needed. The Falcon wing doors, while they do look awesome, and they are somewhat reminiscent of our everybody's favorite time machine. I guess Elon would be Doc Brown, our mad scientist. Only instead of time machines, he's building spaceships. They look neat. I guess they are, at first glance, functional. I would like to see the durability a little more on them. I foresee kids using them as jungle gyms, doing their monkey bar or pull-ups on them, trying to ride them as they go up. I'd like to see how strong those doors are, and if they want durability testing, just let me and midget number 1 and then midget number 2 at it for a day. I'll guarantee you we'll figure out a way to break them in just what would be a normal day-to-day use of a vehicle for us. I don't think there is one thing that has not broken on my car, just due to normal wear and tear at this point. And I dread the day when my extended warranty is up. But hopefully that can, if they're built, if they did them right, they will be awesome. If they did not, those Falcon doors are going to really, really, really hurt Tesla motors. The windshield with the panel windshield, I don't care for that. I guess I'm still going to have to sit in one and see how I like it in person, but I prefer privacy while I'm driving. If I got that, I would blackout tint the entire roof. That's just how I am. Don't like it. The blind holstering of the phone, while it's nice, not something I'd be looking for. I use my phone for GPS, so it'd be out and about anyways. Second row seats, they're nice seats. In terms of functionality, they actually lean forward to allow full access to the third row seats, so that you can actually lean them forward even if the whole seat leans forward, not just the back goes forward, but the whole seat tilts forward. Even if there's like something like a car seat in them, so there's still going to be plenty of room to get to the back, which is nice. However, I would also like to mention, in my opinion, the seats look cheap and cheaply done. It looks like something you'd find in a $15,000 Nissan Cube, or no, I kind of like the Cube seats better, or something you'd find in a $14,000 or $15,000 Nissan Versa or Chevy Sonic. The interior to me just does not scream luxury vehicle, and no matter how hard you try, it's still $100,000+ car. It is not your Chevy Sonic or something cheap. It is still an expensive vehicle, and those buying it really have, want to have that luxury feel. Now the Model S seats, well, the front seats are pretty beefy. The back seats are fairly decent and actually do have more of a luxury feel or look to them. I personally think that the Model X is kind of, the way it looks, is more like your glorified, I'm not going to say high-end, but, or I'm not going to say luxury, but high-end family SUV. I'd liken it to, let's see, okay, let's take Ford and Lincoln, for example. Of course, they're the same company, but you have the Ford Edge, and then you got the Lincoln MKT. Virtually identical vehicle, virtually identical design, but the Ford Edge has more of the high-end feel with the low-end price, whereas the MKT has that luxury feel, and of course the luxury price. So price-wise, it'd be like paying the Lincoln MKT price for the Ford Edge interior vehicle, or an overall vehicle. I hope that makes sense. It's not 100% accurate. It's the best analogy I can come up with right now. Let's see, underseat parcels, towing. I already touched, I guess, on the towing capacity. 5,000 pounds is going to be plenty. Even if you're towing your RV or excuse me, your mobile home, travel trailer, as they showed in the release video, it's going to do an awesome job towing. considering the amount of torque the car has. Like I said, even with the Model S has got more than enough power to do so. It's just how the aftermarket hitch connects to the vehicle. It's not mounted the way it should be for 5,000 pounds or more towing. Let's see. The accessories hitch, I think that was a very nice touch, and I guess there's still no hitch. Even the Roadster had a hitch. Come on, factory supported hitch even. But of course, that once again, that was due to lack of storage in the vehicle, and that way you could still haul your bikes or skis. Now, standard all-wheel drive. Personally, at this point, I think they should just stop making so many variants of the cars. I think it needs to streamline things considerably. Get rid of all single-motor versions of the Model S, and it looks like they don't have any single-motor versions of the Model X. Good. Don't need it. I think just not having all the variants of the motors and battery packs and just try to standardize it would allow them to bring production costs down and make up for the cost differences that they'd be losing per vehicle. They don't need 3 battery pack sizes. And come on, a 85 versus a 90, it's such a minor difference in pack size. Get rid of the 85. It is not needed anymore. Now, when you have the 60 or the 85, big differences. 70 versus an 85, medium differences. 85 versus the 90, it's such a minor difference, it's not even funny. I'm sure they probably have a stack of the batteries sitting around. So I think Tesla needs to get rid of the 85s, goes just straight to strictly 90s, 70s, and the 90s. Stop chewing in your fingers. Yes, Gene? What? Baskets are for eggs, yes. But at least at present with the Model X, it looks like they're going 90 kilowatts only. Good choice. Acceleration on the Model X. Well, it's superb, no matter what version you get. It really didn't show too much on the interior of the car. Man, would I love to have been at that unveiling. Maybe next time. So in general, that's my overall opinion. And I was also hoping they'd put a charge port or a second charge port on the passenger side, where it should have been from the very beginning for curbside charging, without a charge wand sticking off into the street for someone to clip, completely damaging your charging of your Model S. But they still have not. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. And of course, I wish they'd bring back the Aero rims. Man, I can't wait till I get those on. So, I guess that concludes my beginning commentary. It has changed a bit since my non-disclosure agreement of the prototype non-disclosure agreement. So, actually, it can change considerably. So until I'm able to get into one, if anybody in Wisconsin or Illinois has one coming soon that watches, please consider giving me a call. I would really love to just, I don't even want to drive it, I just want to see it in person, do some up-close videos in person. So if you have one or have one coming, as right now it's about a 1-year wait already to get a Model X for new orders. Late 2016 is the current estimated delivery time. Yeah. Good night, everybody.